Welcome Hoops Hive family, you're going to love today's video. But first, if you're new to this channel and haven't subscribed yet, please do so.
Oscar Robertson is the best basketball player I ever played against. I mean, he had no weakness.
When I look back in my career, he's the greatest player I ever played against, period.
Here at Hoops Hive, we want to look at 10 NBA legends who we believe would be even greater in today's modern era. In today's video, we will look at numbers 6 through 10 and then finish up in tomorrow's video with numbers 1 through 5. Please be sure to turn on the notifications so you can catch tomorrow's video. The NBA, a league known for its ever-evolving nature, has undergone transformative changes in recent years. Rule modifications, shifts in playing styles, and the emphasis on skill and versatility have reshaped the league into a game that greatly favors star players offensively and their box scores. We are going to list 10 NBA legends who would be even greater in the modern NBA if they played today. What if these 10 superstars stepped onto the court today, armed with their extraordinary skills, basketball IQ, and the advantages of contemporary training and technology? Let's dive into this intriguing list, exploring the legends who not only would adapt to the fast-paced, three-point-centric landscape of the modern National Basketball Association, but potentially thrive in it. From iconic centers to dynamic guards, these legendary players would undoubtedly seize the opportunities provided by the rules and playing style changes of the modern NBA, redefining the very essence of greatness. Here are the legends of the past that we believe would see a boost in their resumes, stats, and all-time rankings if they played today. Number 10 on our list, John Stockton. John Stockton is widely regarded as one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA. His illustrious career with the Utah Jazz spanned from 1985 to 2003, making him one of the league's most enduring and iconic figures. Stockton's style of play and basketball IQ were ahead of his time, but in the modern NBA, he would undoubtedly be even more extraordinary. One of the most significant rule changes that would benefit Stockton in today's NBA is the hand-checking rule. In his era, defenders could use their hands to impede the progress of offensive players, making it more challenging for point guards to penetrate defenses. In the modern game, hand-checking is heavily restricted, and this change would play right into Stockton's hands, as his exceptional ball-handling skills and ability to create opportunities for his teammates would flourish without the constant physical contact from defenders. Additionally, Stockton's exceptional three-point shooting ability would be even more valuable in the current three-point-centric era of the NBA. He was ahead of his time as a deep-range shooter, and his proficiency from beyond the arc would fit seamlessly into the modern style of play, where three-point shooting is a prized skill. Averaging 38.4% from three over his career, the point guard would have probably shot an even higher percentage if he was forced to space the floor in the modern NBA, as that is a prioritized form of offense. The emphasis on high pick-and-roll plays in today's NBA would perfectly suit Stockton's game. His pick-and-roll partnership with Karl Malone was legendary, and in the current era, where spacing and pick-and-roll actions are prevalent, Stockton's decision-making and passing skills would make him a devastating force on the court. Stockton won a whopping 9 assist titles despite playing in an aggressive era of basketball, and if he had not been impeded, the point guard might have won even more assist titles while accumulating even more than his all-time leading total of 15,805 career assists from 1985 to 2003, making him one of the league's most enduring and iconic figures. Stockton's style of play and basketball IQ were ahead of his time, but in the modern NBA, he would undoubtedly be even more extraordinary. Number 9 on our list, Oscar Robertson. Russell Westbrook has found a way to make the Hall of Fame someday because of his elite triple-double exploits, but there was a player before him who mastered this style of play, Oscar Robertson. In many ways, Robertson was exactly like Westbrook, although he was a far more controlled point guard with an elite basketball IQ. One of the most significant changes in the NBA's evolution that would favor Oscar Robertson is the increased emphasis on versatility and positionless basketball. In his era, Robertson was a true anomaly, standing at 6'5" and possessing the ball handling and playmaking abilities of a point guard, while also having the scoring prowess and rebounding skills of a forward. In today's NBA, where multi-dimensional players who can handle the ball, shoot from long range, and create for their teammates are highly prized, Robertson would be a transcendent force. Another aspect of the modern game that would elevate Robertson's impact is the emphasis on three-point shooting. Although the three-point line wasn't introduced in the NBA until after Robertson's prime, he demonstrated the ability to score from long range throughout his career. The pace and style of play in the modern NBA, characterized by fast breaks and high-tempo offenses, would suit Robertson's playing style perfectly. His combination of speed, basketball IQ, and court vision would enable him to excel in the open court, creating scoring opportunities for himself and his teammates in transition. The fact that the athlete could not be touched when attacking the rim would also greatly benefit Robertson's career. The point guard made 12 All-Star teams and averaged 25.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 9.5 assists per game in an era that was not conducive to offensive play most of the time. Had he played today, Robertson might have averaged a triple-double for his entire career. Number 8 on our list, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon, often hailed as one of the most dominant centers in the history of the NBA, possesses a skill set and versatility that would undoubtedly make him an even greater force in the modern NBA landscape. From the 1980s to the late 1990s, Olajuwon showcased his extraordinary talents with the Houston Rockets, winning back-to-back titles with them. First and foremost, Hakeem Olajuwon's defensive prowess and shot-blocking abilities would make him an invaluable asset in the modern NBA. In today's game, rim protection and the ability to defend in the paint remain crucial, even with the shift toward perimeter-oriented play. Olajuwon averaged 11.1 rebounds and 3.1 blocks per game over his career. And since we have seen Rudy Gobert win 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, is there any doubt Olajuwon would win the award every season during his prime in the modern NBA? Another aspect of Olajuwon's game that would translate seamlessly into the modern NBA is his offensive versatility. In the current era, where big men are expected to stretch the floor and contribute to ball movement, Olajuwon's diverse offensive skill set would allow him to excel in various offensive schemes. The center was adept from mid-range and shot 71.2% from the stripe, so he would be a points generator in every sense. The pace and spacing of the modern NBA would suit Olajuwon's game. His ability to run the floor and finish in transition would add a dynamic dimension to any team's offense. Additionally, the pick and roll, a staple of the contemporary game, would be highly effective with Olajuwon setting screens and rolling to the basket, given his agility and ability to finish at the rim. In the modern NBA, with stricter defensive rules, Olajuwon's offensive repertoire would be even more difficult for opponents to defend. Very few players could stop the Dream Shake during the 1980s and 1990s, and based on what we see from centers today, none of them could handle the Nigerian superstar when he gets the ball in the post. Double or triple teaming him would also result in open three-point looks, and Hakeem would literally be a top 5 player in the world every season. Number 7 on our list, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a towering figure in the history of the NBA, boasts a resume filled with records, accolades, and a scoring title that still stands as one of the most unbreakable records in the league. His skyhook, a virtually unstoppable shot, would continue to be a devastating weapon in the era of analytics-driven basketball. Imagine if players could not touch him and still can't block the shot because of its high release. Abdul-Jabbar's rim-protecting abilities would be highly valuable in the contemporary NBA. As teams increasingly rely on pick-and-roll actions and drives to the basket, having a shot blocker and interior presence like Abdul-Jabbar would greatly bolster a team's defense. Kareem led the league in blocks 4 times and made 11 all-defensive team selections, so he would be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year every season as he shatters the record for most award wins in NBA history, currently 4 by Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace. No doubt, the rule changes that have reduced physicality in the post and favor offensive players would also work in Abdul-Jabbar's favor. In his era, post players had to contend with significant contact and physical play, which often led to lower scoring games. In the modern NBA, where defensive rules are more lenient in the post, Abdul-Jabbar's scoring efficiency would likely improve. Kareem shot 55.9% from the floor while posting 24.6 points per game over 20 seasons. And had he benefited from modern medicine and technology, could it be possible that the big man could have played until his mid-40s? Even if he could not shoot the three, his presence as a mobile big man with elite basketball IQ would have boosted his stats even more. Number 6 on our list, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is one of the most dominant and iconic figures in the history of the NBA, standing at 7 foot 1 inches and possessing a combination of size, strength, and athleticism that is rarely seen in the sport. Forget about the fact that O'Neal could not shoot a lick, career 52.7% from the stripe. He would be even more dominant today. One of Shaq's defining attributes was his sheer physical dominance, and this would still be a significant advantage in the modern NBA. While the league has evolved to emphasize perimeter play and three-point shooting, the importance of a dominant presence in the paint remains crucial, especially if players cannot stop him. Can you imagine a small ball center defending prime Shaq? Even at 325 pounds, Shaq's ability to run the floor and finish in transition would provide a unique dimension to his team's offense. His combination of size and agility would enable him to excel in fast break situations, whether he finishes or backs up and asks for the ball. Not to mention, defending against the Shaq-led pick and roll would be a daunting task for any opponent. Can you imagine the modern players running to a Shaq screen? Modern NBA centers are not used to handling go-to-post players, and even the 2 best big men in the game right now are not primarily post scorers, Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. O'Neal's basketball IQ is on the level of these 2 players, and his mentality to absolutely destroy defenses would work tremendously well against the modern center. O'Neal only won 2 scoring titles in his career, but had he played today, the most dominant force in the world would have won at least 5 of them and could do what Dwight Howard did with the Orlando Magic in 2009. Absolutely more than once. As you can see, these NBA legends dominated the game in their era and would do so even more in today's era. We hope you enjoyed looking at numbers 6 through 10 in today's video. Please make sure to come back tomorrow as we look at numbers 1 through 5. Also, please leave us a comment on which one of these players you think would be the most dominant in today's NBA era and why. See you tomorrow.